Welcome to the Part 3 Authenticity by Design seminar series held by Starling Lab. We're here at Stanford with a couple of our guests. In this Part 3 discussion, which is themed Verify, we will explore some of the approaches that Starling Lab takes in authenticated media verification, which is the third part in our Capture, Store, Verify framework. So there's a lot of use cases for authenticated media that we tend to explore. Human rights observation, we can help fight denialism and create a more permanent digital record for human rights use cases. Obviously, archiving, we want to preserve as much context as we can for unknown future uses of this digital media. We want to preserve data with the sources and the integrity as intact as we can, with the hopes of making it applicable in the legal domain. And in the age of generative AI, we will continue to have problems with deepfakes, and this raises issues with fraud prevention, identity theft, and other things, protecting reputations of individuals and organizations. And we also do a lot of this work for journalists. It'd be helpful for journalists researching, corroborating evidence, maybe if they're checking facts or sourcing media. And we help create methods to create media that is authentic and verifiable in news and other journalism applications. The common thread in all these use cases is verifiable media and content. We try to preserve metadata about the source and the provenance, or the sort of chain of authenticity for digital assets. The common theme is all of these use cases need to be verifiable. We need that data that tells us about where it came from, who made it, what it is. So in our last session, which was on the store topic, we presented two concepts, or Kate Sills presented two concepts, which was our last facilitator. The first, we can make it impossible to credibly backdate an image using cryptography and other methods. We can also make it nearly impossible to fake sources and tamper with claims using different types of tools. Let's dig in a little bit to verifiable data collections, because it sort of sets the stage for the rest of our discussion. These databases incorporate specialized data structures and cryptographic protocols that ensure content is tamper evident. So features of these databases or sets of data make changes to digital media obvious and traceable. Other features of it make sure that it's computationally linked metadata. The pixels of a photograph are computationally linked to the metadata about it, who captured it, where it was captured, a root of trust. These provenance records are verifiably linked to the pixels that they're about. Features of these data sets or these databases make it possible for us to create sort of a cryptographically secure chain of provenance. This is just one data solution, but it's one that we propose because distributed decentralized databases enable us to establish provenance and create audit trails. Some of the features include making it possible to sign content to attest to who created or modified data. So that's signing of data. Establish a record of what it existed when. So that's the root of trust and cryptographically securing it. These data collections or databases also make it possible to duplicate and distribute records so no one single entity has the ability to remove or censor. And features of these data solutions or databases make it possible to link changes and versions to show that provenance data or the record of what changes were made in what order. We've also used timestamping or consensus ledgers, aka blockchains, in concert with these databases to create those immutable records. So the last thing I'm going to mention is Starling Lab's approach to verification, some of the things we prototyped and experimented with. One of the more recent user verification displays that we created was a proof of concept with Reuters and Canon. We used a camera that enabled us to sign at the capture source, this photo information, and create an extensive display of that provenance information. It included not only basic metadata captured by the camera, where these photos were taken, but also more contextual data, and of course, all of that provenance information, including the timestamping and blockchain registration that we did, the distributed systems or decentralized systems that we stored things on, and more verification information that showed iterative changes in a database made to these photos so that you could see where they came from and see the changes that we made.